compete directly in sports?
Yeah, we're asking people today if men and women should compete against each other directly in sports.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it would be good. Good to see Serena face off somebody, you know. I think she could probably, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's a good example, particularly in Serena Williams' case. She has faced men that are ranked really low. This was years ago, though, so she might not have been in her prime. And the guy actually was beating her, took a cigarette break, and then continued to beat her. If you guys never heard that story, look it up. But those are certain examples where I kind of think it might be unfair to have men and women face each other directly. Things that are directly related to strength, like sprinting or wrestling or anything like that. Would you guys still think that's a good idea? Because I kind of feel like it might eliminate a lot of women from being able to compete in these sports. What do you think?
I think the human body is the human body, so it's strength, endurance. If you can do it, you can do it. DNA doesn't matter.
So you think in general, men and women can compete on the same playing field?
They should have the option to sign up to compete against each other.
Oh, I agree with that as well. How about in the case of men transitioning to women? Would you be okay with that?
I've seen some articles on like the sprinting and I guess
weightlifting and
stuff. It's a tough call. I don't know.
Do you want to say anything about it?
I think that it's fair sport, right? Like it's your human body. Like there are women that probably bench more than men, and vice versa. So yeah, I think it'll be.
Well, in the case of men transitioning into women, what we've seen a lot in things like sprinting, wrestling, powerlifting, is that the people that transition into becoming women are blowing all the other ones out of the water in state competitions, in the Olympics doesn't allow it, but in higher level competitions like state, regional, track and field and stuff like that the people who transition to women are really dominating, breaking records. I think in Texas somebody's won consecutive wrestling championships. Same with powerlifting. Does that change your mind at all, knowing that it probably isn't a statistical anomaly at this point? It's just literally the fact that they may have more testosterone in their body, or they've already had the frame of a man before they transitioned into women?
It's possible, or just make another league with the transition.
That's interesting.
Actually, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, have like a separate league just for that. So still keep the men and women separate in those cases, but have a league that's got that as well in it. That probably makes sense. Yeah.
The rules are fair and the competition is fair. Anyone should sign up.
True. I mean, I'm not saying that I disagree with women being able to compete with men. If they can do it, then go for it. We've seen that in hockey. We've seen it in other sports. I believe soccer as well. And even recently a field goal kicker in football has made a practice squad for an NFL team. So I'm not against it. I would say that's more about if you start bringing men into women's leagues, we might completely eliminate the women's leagues just on the average of men being stronger and faster. Agree or disagree?
I think business will boom because both genders will be watching the show because men are there. It will look amazing.
That would make sense too, because right now sports, if you ask anybody sports, I'd say more like lead toward men than it is women, right? Now, when you look at Olympics or anything like that, that's when you actually get both genders watching this. So, football, for example, great example that you gave earlier. Super Bowl, mostly men watch it, women usually just come for the party and that's it kind of thing, right? For the food and all that. I don't know. I don't think there's like a big woman following of football, NFL, American football. But if you actually put both together, and that might actually draw some women to watching more football, NFL.
More the merrier.
More the merrier.
Don't you think that's kind of dangerous, though? Because in situations like the mixed martial arts, we've had a man that transitioned into a woman, and she actually fractured another woman's skull. And then another woman has fought her, who actually ended up beating her. So that's the other side of the argument. But that's a current UFC female fighter, and she said that the person hit so hard that they don't think that she should be fighting other women, having been a man for 30 years and then transition into women. So do you think it's dangerous for the women at all?
But if she had won, then she'd be like, oh, look, I beat someone who transitioned.
Yeah. He did beat her.
Oh, okay. No, the one who got beat.
Yeah, but the one who got beat was like clearly overpowered and had a skull fracture from it, which is very rare.
A combat sport, right? Like that's like.
But isn't football as well?
Yeah, in some, but there's protective gear and all that stuff. This is that's fighting, right? UFC is totally different league. I think that's when it comes to you're really hurting somebody. That's injuring to win.
But right? Can you argue though that the amount of concussions in football due to the consistent head blows, just like boxing is more dangerous than mixed martial arts because it's constant head blows. I would argue that football is more dangerous than mixed martial arts, unless you're getting knocked out all the time, which obviously is not the goal.
Yeah,
Look it up then. Don't. No, anything else you guys want to add?
No, that's everything, man.
That's good.
I appreciate it a lot. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Channel's called Andrew Does.
Andrew does?
Yeah, Andrew DOES.
Okay.
Same on Instagram too if you want to check it out. Thanks, guys. It's a good one. That's what we want. Honest conversation.
Perfect.